everyone, and welcome to
The Movie House.
Today we're going to talk to you about a movie from 1973 called The Day of the Jackal, starring Edward Fox, Michael Lonsdale, and it's from a political novel written by Frederick Forsyth. That's the source material. What did you think of The Day of the Jackal?
Well, I'd heard of it and had never seen it. It was not quite what I expected. I didn't know anything about the movie, and apparently it's an assassination attempt on President Charles de Gaul of France. So I had no idea. Usually most of the thrillers, political thrillers I've seen are American or British. So a French one was different. What threw me off is nobody really had a French accent.
Right.
So, and they jump around a lot in this movie. There's a lot of traveling back and forth from various countries. And a lot of times they didn't tell you. And I couldn't tell where they were because everybody either had an American accent or a slight British accent. So I had a hard time saying, are we in France?
Right. They show you some of the what do you call them?
Landmarks.
Landmarks, thank you.
Like the Arc de Triomphe.
Right, that would sort of give you maybe an idea of where they were. But yeah, oftentimes we weren't sure, where is this guy? Because he keeps hopping country to country because
Right.
he's being secretive.
And I think he even went to Italy a couple of times.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure about that either. And
Yeah, and I thought it was, talking about the technical aspect of it, it was actually nominated for an Oscar for film editing.
really?
Yes, and I thought the editing was pretty poor because I remember there was this one scene, we're sitting there watching it, and this policeman walks in the door he's a courier of some type. He talks to one guy, he goes across the room, talks briefly to another guy, he's handed some papers, turns around, walks out, and then you see him get on his motorcycle and take off. It's like, why did we even need that? If you're going to have them in there doing something to pick up the paperwork, that makes sense. But why did it have to be so long? Just cut it down, edit it down. And so I guess the 70s editing was far different than what we're used to today.
Right. And I thought too, for a, political espionage thriller, it was very slow.
Yes.
It was very slow. It really didn't pick up near until the end, really. Then it kind of started picking up and became even more interesting.
Yeah, and I give them credit because maybe in the book it makes more sense. They actually showed you these guys doing the grunt work of figuring out what's going on, who's this guy, what's he doing, and trying to nab him by looking through books and going into libraries and pulling papers out.
Right.
And you see them do all of this boring, meticulous stuff. And as a viewer in today, I'm thinking, do I really need to see this?
And they did, because you think about it, they probably didn't have microfiche. They
Right.
didn't have computers.
Right, because it's set in the 60s.
It's set in the 60s,
It was
right?
made in 73, but it was set in the 60s, right?
So all
62.
So in a sense, it's a time capsule. This is what they had to do,
Right.
and maybe we didn't appreciate as much all the grunt work, all the labor, because when they had the one French commissioner, he's like, "Give me 10 phone lines,
Right.
and I want one to this guy and this guy and that guy and that guy and that guy, and I have to have 24/7." And so we didn't appreciate what they had to do back then, because now it's okay.
Or just
or just go like this,
Yeah.
right? The Google. Let's go to the Google and we'll get all the information we need. But so I guess maybe we've lost the appreciation for what they had to do at that time.
No, I
period.
appreciated what they had to do and how hard it was. And,
You just didn't want to see it.
And seeing how hard it was, but then I had to see so much of it.
Right. Right. And then again, it was, you had to really pay attention to say, are these the French guys?
Right.
Is this
Right.
Scotland Yard?
Right.
Are we back in Italy?
Right. Is this the OSA? Is this
Right.
Scotland Yard? Who's talking to who? I don't know who these guys are because they all look alike. They all sound
And
alike.
they all sound alike. Like I said, there
Yeah.
wasn't much
Yeah.
differentiation.
Yeah.
Nobody had a French accent, especially the French. They didn't have a French accent.
Right.
So, but
Do you recommend it?
If you're looking for a slow, rainy day, Sunday, Saturday matinee at home, perhaps, perchance. But no, it's not something I'd probably watch again.
Yeah, I'm with you. It was just way too slow. The story is interesting. The
Right.
plot is interesting. And Edward Fox is really good as the Jackal. And Michael Lonsdale is really good as his sort of Joubert, the man who's trying to catch him. But wow, it's a slog.
Yeah,
It's a bit of a slog.
yeah. And like I said, it's kind of confusing since they don't like nowadays you have a Mission Impossible movie and it's filmed 18 exotic places, but they tell you where you are.
Right.
They sit there and say, "Hey, we're in Saint-Tropez." Here we had no idea what country we're in.
Right.
Unless they actually showed you this way to Paris, this way to Italy.
And maybe it was for a European audience who they'd go, "Oh,
That could be.
I recognize that street."
That
But
could be.
for us.
But for us,
Doesn't
it was
mean a thing.
it didn't mean anything.
Okay. Well, very good. Well, that's it. The Data Jackal has some interesting, good aspects to it. It's like you said, I've heard about this movie forever, never seen it before, and just way too slow for me.
And I thought it was interesting, and I'm not going to give anything away, but I kind of figured out.
Yes.
It's like, I think that this is happening. And it turned out I was correct.
Right.
So if you like a good mystery, you may like that, but it's not very good. It's just not very good.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Thanks for joining us. Hope to see you again real soon. So long.
Bye.